Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, so the official skills are out. Okay, so we have Levia, Lucius, Seto, and Beliath. So we're gonna have a look at it together. So now that the official skills are out, I guess I can give you guys my rough idea on which one I'm gonna pick after looking at the skills together. Alright, so we're gonna jump into it straight up. Okay, so let's start off with Lucius first. Alright, so it's gonna be kind of straightforward, I hope. So let's have a look at the skills. So the stats looks like it's about the same. I don't know, I can't tell exactly. But what I would like to notice is the crit rate and crit damage, right? As long as he has about the same, so it should be fine. Alright, so what does Lucius get throughout? So Lucius has at +1, it's still the same. So instant, I think more recovery. As opposed to just 20%, he get 35%, makes sense. So +2, 50%, looks like all the same from +0 onwards. So +3, he does unlock this skill, I do remember. And I do remember it's pretty low, it starts off at 15%. Okay, so it goes higher, 25%, makes sense. And it goes even higher later on, 30. Okay, so let's have a look. So clearly, I think all the skill level from +0 to +10 seems to be the same. Alright, let me check again. +10. Okay, so 6 times, okay. I think it's the same. If I'm not mistaken, 6 times Death Guard, 36 turns. So a lot of people were confused when they saw the 36 and they thought, oh, Lucius can take 36 hits. Don't worry, it's not. Alright, it's the number of turns of how long the Death Guard lasts, because the number of hits and there's a number of turns of how long it lasts, so that the skills will not be too broken. So if you ignore him, you can actually wait it out if you choose to do that. Death Guard ends after receiving. Okay, so this one looks like the same at +10. So let's have a look at +11. Boom! One more range. Wow! Now that is incredible for Lucius to just be getting that one extra range just like that. That is insane. Alright, so I actually like it. I thought you will only unlock it at +15, but I'm guessing we are getting like a more broken skill at +15. But at +11, you do get that one extra range, and trust me, that range is gonna be huge because of his ability right here. Now a lot of players have Lucius at +0, so they might not realize how strong this ability is. But this is an ability that deals damage based off enemies' current HP times percentage of additional damage. It can deal a ton if you have a ton of crit damage and if you actually crit during that particular attacking turn. So it's kind of, you know, if you are willing to do it, you can actually stack a lot of crit damage buffs on him, and he's gonna do a lot of damage actually. But most players, I noticed, they don't really put their Lucius in the buff range. Even Rafitia will not be buffing Lucius most of the time. Okay, so +12, what will we have? Okay, so when you take, okay, 100% instant recovery, still there. So what do we have now? Advanced Resurrection. Okay, when you take the damage, you'll be revived 100%. Oh, okay, so now he has Advanced Resurrection. So 100% recover before the battle begins, and after the first resurrection, he will recover another 100% recovery. So he can resurrect twice. Okay, let's have a look at this skill. This is the interaction with this skill, Death Guard. Okay, after the first resurrection, 4 times, he received 4 times. Okay, so and then, after the second resurrection, he received another 4 times. Pork! That will make it 8 times of Death Guard. Okay, so basically he has 2 resurrection. Okay, I'm gonna assume they do this for a reason, instead of just putting 8 times Death Guard. So basically 4 times, he will resurrect again with full HP, but yeah, he always does have full HP, right? Won't he always have full HP, or is it only after the resurrection? Yeah, only after the resurrection, he will instantly recover all his HP. I guess it does matter if you equip Vital Runes on him, so you're gonna have more HP. They didn't rework on his HP, did they? I think he still have 7.4k. Yeah, that's about the same as what we have now, if I'm not mistaken. So his HP is not going to beat Gran or Cowley or Benshina to reach like 30-40k, but he can reach, if you have good runes, I'm guessing like approaching 16, 17k. Not extremely high, but it depends on what build you want to go for. But I'm guessing, based on what I'm seeing with this skill right here, Rage Runes makes more sense. 35%. Okay, so at plus 13, this will become what? 55%! Holy moly, that is insane. Yo, that's a lot of damage. Current HP times 55%. He's gonna be wrecking everyone who don't have... Alright, for your information, if I'm not mistaken, Azimuth is 45%. So this dude is like dealing more damage than the plus 10 Azimuth. Alright? So just so you know. Which is crazy. Alright? So just same with how you're building an Azimuth. If you go 2 Rage Runes on him, he's going to be wrecking everyone in the battlefield. But obviously he was gonna need that buff for his crit rate because his crit chance is very low. 55% though. Holy, that is dope. Oh my god, at plus 14, what does he get? What? Oh my, 75? Holy! That is broken. That is officially broken. Oh, 75, okay. Wow, I'm actually thinking that he's worth building all the way because you're getting not just insane tanking capability, you're getting insane firing power as well. That is a lot of firing power for you to have that much. I mean, in theory, right now he looks really strong, but at the end of the day, I think he still gets countered by multi-hit units. So 5 attacks. Okay, so at plus 15, he gets 5 attacks times 2. So he has 2 resurrection. So he gets 5 attacks times 2, meaning it's 10. So you need to hit him 10 times. So Christina needs to hit him 10 times. It's not impossible. He will still die. Granted, we don't have much multi-hitters that can hit lots of times, except for Christina, right? So that's going to be a thing. I think it might be a good thing as well because that means that Christina will stay still somewhat in the meta. Maybe not in arena meta specifically, but in a lot of cases, players should still consider building Christina if you encounter this guy in like Guild Wars or Underground Arena and things like that, because that seems to be the only way, right? So definitely let me know what you guys think. I do think this is very strong. The bonus range at plus 11, plus 12 you get more Death Guards 8 times, 13, 14 you get insane firing power, 55%, 75% current HP. That is just, holy moly. What? So this skill can be negated a ton by shield runes, alright? So keep that in mind. So if enemy has shield runes, this is not going to do anything to them. So in a lot of scenarios, you might see some scenarios where Lucius versus Angelica, one-on-one. Like these two are the last person standing. So Angelica is still going to win because there's no way Lucius is going to do anything to that Angelica. Or maybe Lucius versus Adin, for example, right? So I don't see Lucius having anything that can deal with Adin. So Adin is weak against DOT and stuff, but yeah, and attack interference, but Lucius does not have that. So if Lucius and Adin was the last man standing, one-on-one, Adin would still win the battle. So keep that in mind. This is like very good against a lot of units for sure, but not sure if it's worth going all the way to plus 14. I do think that plus 12 is the sweet spot, and they've done it very well right here. 11 you get the bonus range, plus 12 you get this particular skill. Now granted, 13 and 14 is gonna be depending on your league, right? If you are in the higher tier league, you're gonna fight a lot of units with 100% defense anyway. So that skill is not going to do much, to be honest. Depending on what the enemy places on their front lane, it might not do anything for you at all. So you might want to consider before you have the extra, like pull for the extra companion, like all the way to plus 15. Plus 15 he does get more Death Guard though, but is it really necessary? Like 10 times versus 8 times. That 2 extra time, can it like be game changing? Maybe certain cases, but you have to gauge the investment you need to pull the extra 3 companions. That's a lot of diamonds, man, depending on how good your luck will be. So make sure you decide carefully on that. Okay, so next up we have Seto. Alright, this is the one that I'm mostly curious about. Holy moly, Seto! What will he have on his stats? Still the same old same. 5% base defense. Okay, he doesn't really need crit damage and crit rate because fixed damage. Edgy is high, I like it. Okay, so let's have a look at what Seto is all about. 100% fixed damage. So the second skill is the reflective counter. Let's have a look. Okay, so third skill is flame guard. Okay, now this is interesting. This is new. Oh, okay. So ignore skill types for harmful effects. Cannot receive skill types with beneficial effects except immunity. That is interesting. So each damage you take is taken directly as additional damage. Okay, it makes sense. So each damage that Seto receives will consume his maximum health times 30% additional damage. That is interesting. Okay, so this flame guard is very interesting. It's a very interesting mechanic. Okay, so now it's answered, I guess. A lot of people speculate that in the trailer they saw Seto might have high agi or something similar to Levia or Albion. So apparently it's just a different kind of shield. Very interesting. This is going to be better and much more beneficial because the agi thing might not be as consistent and he will still die to fixed damage. So if a Seto versus Seto, it's like who hits the other Seto first, right? So I like this much better. If it's a shield like this, so that means that he can actually take hits from fixed damage or maybe survive Levia even, alright? So based on what I'm seeing here, it actually does because it's similar to Glacia's skill in a way, but it only takes like certain percentage of your health. I actually like it. So he can be used to tank a lot of different things. Alright, he's not just a warrior now, he's a defender, can take hits, can deal a ton of damage. Okay, so let's have a look at these skills. So what is Seto all about? It looks like +1, +2, +3 looks like the same. Alright, it looks like the same. So we're gonna check at +10 onwards. Alright, so +10, this skill 250%. Okay, deals fixed bonus damage, we already know that. So +11, 300%. PogChamp, 100% instant recovery if enemy dies. Very good. So that's what he gets at +11. Now at +12, lots of units get bonus at +12. So what is Seto's awesome bonus? Flame Guard, maximum HP times 11% additional damage. Okay, now that makes sense. I appreciate it a ton. So that's a huge jump, man. What's the previous one? 30? Yo, the previous one +10 is maximum health times 30% consumption. Now it's only maximum health times 11% additional damage. So that's a huge upgrade at +12. Alright, so ideally you want to go to +12 so he can take more hits. He won't die as fast. At +13, fixed counter, more damage, 170%. Okay, how about the fixed DOT? Fixed DOT 30% for 10 turns. That is also a lot. Yeah, it is kind of a jump, but I'm not sure if it's necessary because most of the time I think you're going to be able to one-shot the enemy from counter. I mean, you're using him mostly to deal with who? Who are you dealing with? Like Angelica, Adin, like they don't really have high HP or anything that can survive against this fixed counter damage. So very cool, very cool. 13, 14 counters bonus fixed damage to enemy normal attacks. Alright, so damage times 200%, 210% additional damage. Okay, and then we have burn, 40%. Okay, so that is 15, 280%. Okay, that is very high, man. Whoever that hits him, they will die for sure. His awakening skill is just attack times agility times 150%. Okay, so this is something that happens before the battle begins, so he cannot receive agility buff. It has to be based off runes, so that's how it's calculated upon. So very obvious way to try to rune him, assault runes with substat agi. There's just no other way, but I guess maybe if you want you can mix in some vital runes to make him tankier, but I don't see the purpose of that. But at the end of the day, +12 seems like a good sweet spot, right? Same with Lucius, I think. So going higher, like you have to gauge, is it necessary? Because like who are you trying to one shot? You can, take a number of hits, but you cannot receive buffs. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because right here I'm trying to think, okay, maybe there's a way that they are trying to do this to not be so broken. Because if you think about it, every time he receives HP, he's going to slowly... Every time he receives damage, he's going to slowly consume his HP, right? So I think they don't want you to pair Seto with something like a healer so that he can constantly heal himself back up. So that would be too broken. So I'm guessing it's more for that. But in this case, it seems like he cannot receive buffs at all. So it's a little bit upsetting. Okay, so here's what I can conclude, alright? Seto versus Alec. A quick analysis. So I'm not that upset that he doesn't have 3 tiles like Alec does at plus 12 because he is a fixed counter damage dealer as well. So he can kill one on his own attack, and maybe he can kill several others upon receiving hits, right? So obviously it's going to depend on who is hitting him. But this skill it seems really broken, because does that mean that Seto will never die, right? I mean, is there one unit that can one-shot him? Because it might not be possible if he has this skill always be there. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm assuming this skill cannot be buff prohibited because it's before battle. Is it like each hit will take maximum life times 11% additional damage? Because if that's the case, multi-hit units can still like do a ton. Like Christina hits 5 times. Will Christina like be able to... But Christina will die to counter for sure, but it's just more of like a theory kind of thing. Will multi-hitters be able to, you know, negate this spell faster and try to burn out these spells faster, right? But that's going to be interesting to see for sure. Alright, next up we have... Okay, so next up let's have a look at Levia. So this is the one that excites me the most because I do have her at plus 10, right? Okay, so what is Levia all about? So this is what that piques my curiosity. So she doesn't need attack, to be honest. It doesn't matter if that stat has increased. Vitality looks to be the same. I remember her having 4444 HP. Alright, so crit damage and crit rate doesn't matter on her. 25% agility. Okay, so from what we have gathered so far, their skills are always the same at plus 0. Alright, what is this skill all about? This one looks to be different. Permanent healing. Maximum life times 4% recovery every turn. Okay, this is new. She doesn't have this before this. If I'm not mistaken, it was Advanced Masochism, where there's a reduction of incoming damage, and there's also a little bit of a heal when she's hit or something. So this is a bit different. Debuff immune, okay. So I'm guessing this is the skill that seems to rework. So let's have a look at her skills at plus 10. Alright, same range. So modifier looks to be the same. Alright, so it's like 450% main target, 125% side targets. Makes sense. So she's not going to change in that particular. So 65% increase in defense for 4 turns before she attacks. Alright, so how about at plus 11? What does she get? So this is now damage reduction of 70%. What? Okay, that is a lot. 70% is the maximum amount of damage reduction you can stack on a unit. I don't think you can stack with Refitia's buffs to further even increase it, because as far as I know, that's the cap right there. Alright, you get that as plus 11. Very cool. You don't need her to be within Refitia's buff range from what I'm seeing. Plus 12. Oh, still the same for that. What about this? Okay, now it's permanent, everlasting, permanent 65% increase at plus 12. That is cool. Alright, so she's going to have 100% defense permanently. It doesn't just like before she attacks or after she attacks. It's like permanent, forever. So she can get 100% defense easily already at plus 12. If you have 2 decent shield runes on her, she's going to get that already. So plus 13. So this skill now heals her health of 10% every turn and recovers 90% of damage taken. What? So she has 70% incoming damage reduction. She instantly recovers 90% of the damage taken. Is she like a new Grand right now? What is happening, man? That is so cool. Okay, so that's what she gets at plus 13. I guess it's a decent upgrade. Plus 14. Okay, so now she has even more curse, I'm guessing. 130. Okay. 130%. For 12 turns. Before she gets attacked, she will curse you for 130 130%. That is a lot. That is a lot. So all your stats will be gone. No wonder in that trailer we saw Lyudmila like did not do any damage to her, right? So that's to be expected. And then she still have the stats enhancement nullifier, so that will always be there. It will never be removed. And plus 15, kablam. What do we have? Alright, still the same for the main damage. But she gets 100% defense. Wow. Wow, that is so cool. 100% defense. I don't think it matters that much because in the realms of like what, Adin, Dalvi, and Ventana coming soon, we have all of these units that can deal with 100% defense units. So I'm not sure if it's worth it going to plus 15. Plus 12 definitely, because you do get 65%. So you can get 100% already at plus 12. Granted, the damage taken only recovers 60%. So I'm curious. I'm extremely curious because every time Levia is being placed there, I like to use my Dalvi as a counter to her. So I'm actually curious, can Dalvi still one-shot a plus 13 Levia? Because this skill right here, she's gonna instantly recover 90% of the damage taken, right? So you have to be dealing a ton of damage. The question is she a better Natus though? Like, that's the question right here, right? So Natus can wipe the entire lane. So for her range is still limited to that cross tile, right? So I think it's pretty balanced. If you ask me, I would say she is pretty balanced. She's not like stronger than Natus or anything, and she's not like replacing Natus or anything, but it's just now we have another option, right? So Natus can be still good in some situations. Ignore taunt is always a thing. So for Levia, she will still always get taunted. There's no changes to this skill at all, right? Even the modifiers are still the same. So I think Glacier can still take hit from her. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that will have to wait for further testing. Okay, so moving on to the last one. So this time we have Beliath. So let's have a look. 4.5k, okay, 15%. Oh my god, that is a huge jump. That is a huge jump. Alright, you guys might not be noticing that. I think she has 5% defense before this. So that 15% is a huge thing. It's going to help her survive much more things. Fatal and crit, okay. Agility is pretty decent. So let's have a look. What does she have? So, okay, 5% crit rate looks like still the same old for the earlier stage. I don't see much changes. Masochism to make sure that she can survive. And then she has debuff immune, right? I mean, it makes sense for her to have that. She's a legendary after all. She deserves to have debuff immune. So plus 3, she still get the range. Very cool. So we're going to have a look at plus 10 onwards. Okay, so plus 10 to plus 11. Clearly, we can tell there's something increasing right here. Alright, so plus 10, 18 turns. Okay, so 150 attack. Okay, that's quite a lot. 150 attack. Okay, 1 turn of Death Guard. Skeleton, 20 enemies attack times 250%. Very cool. So when we go to plus 11, 24 turns becomes 36 turns. The rest looks to be the same. It's like, okay, so at plus 11, just it lasts 12 turns longer. I guess that could make sense in certain scenarios, in certain occasions, but at plus 12, oh, now it's interesting. Now we get this insane range. Now granted, this is not like Refutia's buff range, but still, it's an upgrade, right? So you're not being forced to place her in the middle. So you can buff enemies at the side, top and bottom lane still, and still benefit from the full range effect. Very cool. Okay, plus 13. This is the huge one. 95% crit damage. Oh, very cool. Okay, very cool. Okay, so when you upgrade to plus 14, so this will become 18 turns. Okay, now the buff is longer, right? 90% attack power increase. Okay, I like it. Still 36 turns, but 350% additional damage. 80% crit damage. Alright, at plus 15, 36 turns of... Okay, the buff is the same. It's just that this time it lasts way longer. 36 turns as opposed to 18. So double the amount of time. Which can be beneficial depending on how you want it to be. But the rest seems to be the same. Okay, so I guess for a lot of players who are expecting a lot of Beliath upgrade, this might disappoint you. Like, to be honest, I was expecting slightly more as well. But if you think about it, I think this is pretty balanced, right? So Beliath is already in a very good spot. Or else she wouldn't be in like top 5 supporters being used. Yes, she wasn't as strong as Rafitia. Granted, even after looking at this entire skill at plus 15, I don't think she's meant to replace Rafitia. Her role has always been to create skeletons and, you know, just being annoying. So very hard to deal with in Guild Wars or Underground Arena, etc. So I'm guessing her role will never change. She will never be a main supporter, alright? So I feel like Rafitia still have better buff supports overall. And for those of you who already have Rafitia, your investment value is still there, alright? You don't have to regret that Rafitia is getting replaced or anything like that. If you are a veteran player who have been playing this game for a while, Beliath is still one of the better units to be tackling Guild Wars and underground content, etc. But for a lot of players who are starting out, I would say Rafi is still the safer option for a supporter. I mean, I'm not saying Beliath is bad, it's just that 12 turns, even if you get Beliath up to, let's say, plus 12, you don't get much in terms of your supports. I mean, it's okay, it's not bad, it's just that you need to go higher to get more support buffs. And that's going to be interesting moving forward. I would love to hear it from you guys as well. So Lucius, Levia, Seto and Beliath, none of them are actually broken. If you look at the meta right now, they are all pretty balanced. And yeah, I will make a lot of videos updating you guys of any new discoveries I found. Trying to look from a versatility perspective, I feel like even the likes of Edin and Angelica, they are still very strong in the meta, even after the release of these Octos. But of course, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. I actually like it a lot, alright? So none of them are actually entirely broken, because I sort of predicted that the developers will lean towards balancing every single unit in the game instead of making them the broken ones to replace the previous ones. And I kind of feel like they are doing a good job. Of course, let me know what you guys think. Alright, gonna end the video here. Gonna stop rambling for now. Thanks a lot for watching, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.